Well, the graph of g is shown below, and the line shown here is tangent to g at x equals -1. So here's what we know. They've shown us the graph of g. I try not to break my pencil lid this time. This is g. And this line right here is the line that is tangent to g, and it is y equals -3/2 x minus 7/2. Now we could say it's tangent to g, but let's be more specific. It's tangent to g at this one point, and we know what the word tangent means. Not necessarily in a trigonometric context, but it is the line that represents the slope at a point, and it is at -1. So this right here, is x equals -1. Now we don't know this y value that corresponds to it. Now by looking at the graph, we can figure a few things out maybe in a minute. But in the meantime, all we know is we have g, we have a line, and this is the point where x equals -1. Let's keep reading. They gave us g, they gave us the tangent line. Find g of -1 and g prime of -1. Okay, well, I want to just write a few things that you don't always have to write, but g of -1 is the value of the function at -1. Okay, this is the value of g at x equals -1, and that's kind of a algebra topic, but we have so many other things going on, we need to think through this. And g prime of -1 is the slope of g at x equals -1, and it is represented by the slope of the tangent line. Okay, well, let's just pause that thought right there. What is the slope of the tangent line? Well, here's the tangent line, and the slope is, well, -3/2. That's it. So don't make it harder than it is. Final answer, purple, no reason, just feel like it. G prime of -1 is -3/2. Okay, great. So let's also find the value of g at x equals -1, and that's this thing that I don't know what it is, but we're about to find out. And here's how I know. When I have, this is super important, when I have a function and its tangent line, they meet at one point. They meet at this point. So this point, x equals -1, is on the graph of g and its tangent line, and so is this y value. So this xy value right here, whatever this xy value is, it is on the graph of g, and it's also on the graph of the tangent line. And we can see that. They touch at that point. So if I know what this point is on the tangent line, then I'll know what it is on the actual curve itself, because that's where they intersect, right? So here we go. What I want to do is plug a -1 in for x into the tangent line and crank out a y value. And when I crank out that y value, and I do all the work and I get a y value, then I will know the corresponding y value not only for the tangent line, but for this parabola as well. So let's do it. So -3/2 times -1 minus 7/2, and that's going to give me 3/2 minus 7/2, which is going to give me -4/2, which is -2. That's it. This is it. When I plug a -1 into the tangent line equation, I get a y value, but they share that y value. They share that entire coordinate. So this is g of -1.